Cooking with yours truly, and on the other end, Derek Blocker. We're gonna throw it down tonight for you guys. I'm gonna throw on a whole meal so you guys can see what it looks like. Orgasmic Conscious Cooking. Do me a favor, y'all. Subscribe. Pass this around. We only have 300 people, and I've been doing this for like a year now. Please, please pass this along and have people subscribe. Just have people you don't know subscribe. Just do me a favor. Say, hey, show this brother, show Big John some love. Go over to his not Facebook, his YouTube page. Subscribe, Being John Ashford on YouTube. You cannot miss it. You're going to enjoy it. Go back and look at some of the old episodes. We have actually came a long way. So tonight we're gonna go ahead and get started immediately because I'd like to try to get meals done. It's 6:31 from my clock here in Washington, Camas, Washington. I'm gonna try to get this meal done within 30 minutes. I'm gonna see what I can do. Okay, what I have here now is I have these green beans that have started. Let me turn that up all the way. I'm steaming some green beans because we're gonna have some green beans with that, and I'm steaming it, and then I can't just eat plain green beans steamed. Okay, I guess you could, but I gotta have a little pizzazz in it. So what I'm gonna add to it is some sesame seed oil and some tamari sauce. I'm gonna use those two ingredients because my wife, usually I put a lot of stuff in it. Let me turn this down. But my wife can't do the onions and all. So I'm gonna show you guys a hack. I'm doing pork chops and apple and onions. My wife can't do onions right now. So this is kind of hot. It got kind of hot, so I'm gonna take this off for a lot like this. I'm gonna take a little olive oil. Drop some olive oil like this in there. Okay. See, it's smoking a little bit because I got a little hot because I was talking too much. I do that once in a while. What I'm gonna do, my pot over there is talking to me. I'm gonna drop this on here like this. Put my top back on here. Turn this back off. And we're on. We're on. Can't say that too loud. Okay. So what I want to do is saute these onions. I'm cook them up. And you don't want to cook them on high. You want to cook onions because I buy sweet onions. Sweet onions. Why sweet onions? Sweet onions because the sugar. I want the residual sugar. So you're gonna brown them a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is that because I'm not gonna put them in this pot, I'm gonna take my chops afterwards and put it in the pot with the onions and the apples. I'll take some of the sauce and pour it over there so I can actually accommodate. When you're cooking, think of cooking as art and cooking as you're cooking for somebody else plus yourself. And what does it take to do that? You got to ask questions. You got to be present. Drinking my tea. They're browning. I'm going to show you this. I don't have the camera over the top, but you guys can see a little bit. I can see in the camera. Yes, that's my wife there saying hello. So I'm going to show you guys something so you see what this looks like a little bit. They're caramelizing a little bit. So this is a infrared precision induction cooktop. Yeah, this is a half an onion. So this is a half an onion. I'm going to put some salt and pepper on here at the very end. But the reason this goes off, you might hear this go on and beeping off because you can touch it and it's not really that hot. The top doesn't get that hot. It gets warm, but it's not hot enough to burn you. I like this, and it actually is more precise in cooking. That's how I use it. My onions are coming along. So I'm going to show you this. We have pork chops, but they're boneless chops. They're more loins than they are chops. And I wanted to do that because you don't want to, these are 4 pork chop loins cut in half. They'll cook a little bit quicker, and I will be able to put all my sauce and seasoning on there together. So what's on top of these pork chops, I'm a little scattered this evening, I should say, is I was looking for sage with pork. So I did some things. I saw the recipe. I was like, it doesn't have enough flair to me. So, of course, my favorite. I'm using granulated garlic, salt and pepper. Now, this is going to be a different one. You probably ask, why are you using this? I'm using poultry seasoning that I have. And why? Because I don't have any sage in the house, and I want the sage because I want the effect of sage on the pork chops. Okay. It's cooking up pretty good. I think it's doing its job. What I'm going to do is Drop a little salt on there. Set these to the side. And a little pepper. And we can get busy with the other ingredients. So they're pretty brown right there for me. So that's right there. You guys see what that looks like? Voila. This on here. Turn this up. Well, this is 375. So I got to be very careful across the contamination. I don't want to touch the tongues with the pork. It's not that type of party. My green beans, I don't want them to overcook. So I'm keeping an eye on that. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn that off. Okay. Vegetables only need to cook for about 3 to 5 minutes. If you cook them too long, they become mushy. And guess what? They're no good. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. It's going to be real. This is how I usually do it. I'm going to check one of these out. Yes, it's hot enough. Okay. Pull it off to the side. Turn this off. Pause this for a second. I get the pork chops later. So my green beans are nice and steamy. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll pull them out like that. Sit them on the side right here for just a hot second. Take this water, discard the water. I don't want the water. Now, they weren't submerged. Remember, they weren't submerged in the water. They got still a little crunchiness to them. My wife and I don't really like soggy vegetables. I should speak for myself. I don't like soggy vegetables. I don't think she likes them too much either. So what I'm gonna do is take about a tablespoon of Trader Joe's toasted sesame seed oil. It's gonna give a really nice flavor. Turn that eye back on low. I want the oil to stay hot. I'm gonna drop these green beans back in the oil. Like that. Now I haven't touched any of the pork, so I'm gonna be able to use my tongs. I didn't see, so what's in here, I'm gonna just let this sit like this. You guys see that? Yeah, you can. So the flavor is really coming from the sesame seed oil. And what we're gonna do is spruce it up with a little tamari sauce. They're already cooked. So I'm gonna turn that off. Now I'm ready for the pork. Now look, so I'm gonna show you guys another trick that I have. So if you have a rice cooker, like tonight is rice, wild rice, and white rice mixed, blend together with pork chops, apples, and green beans. I want this, so the eye is off, so I'm gonna keep an eye on this. I'm gonna take this off in a second because I did this before. I left them on for about 2 minutes too long, and they were like wimpy string beans. I don't want that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna just do it like that right now. So I'm gonna grab my handy dandy pot holder. I want you guys to see this. So this is the rice that I was describing, okay? And what I did with this rice is I took coconut oil and chicken broth, and I put a little bit of that in there, and that's the basis of the rice. Put it back in there so it stays warm. Okay. So what I'm saying is that if you were at work, you came on, you don't, like, I'm trying to get people to eat more food that they cook themselves instead of packaged stuff. So I have a what is that? A Instant Pot. In Instant Pot, you can time it, and it can be ready. The rice can be ready when you come home. In this case, the white rice was cooked in a different container than the wild rice because wild rice cooks a lot longer. So you have to get a little creative with that. So I have 2 rice cookers, 1 rice cooker and an Instant Pot, and I do that together. No wimpy string beans. That's right, babe. I'll move that here. Now, we're about to get busy with the main ingredients, the pork chops. I'm gonna cook them at 375, a temperature about 100. I hope I don't know if there it is. So I said this once before, when you cook, you have to have the right tools. A meat thermometer, can you guys see that? On guard, okay. So I'm gonna check the pork chops. I know what it looks like, but I want them to be cooked about 140 degrees inside. for pork, 145, 140 degrees. I'm not really worried about it because I'm gonna drop them back in the gravy that I'm gonna make. Quasi gravy is more, I put about a half a teaspoon of cornstarch because I want it a little thick, because I realize it's gonna have a lot of juice from the apples when it cooks up. So maybe that'll thicken up. That's what I'm going for. So as this heats up, it's actually doing it really fast. I'm gonna tell you about the main ingredient of consciousness. And the main ingredient for consciousness today was acknowledgement and actualization. I'm gonna do this while I'm explaining this to you as I get things going. Got this butter in here. 2 tablespoons of butter. So why acknowledgement? Because we live in a world where we're always being played down. Okay? What I mean by that is that we think less of ourselves because we're not really looking at what we create and what we be. And the easy way to start doing that daily, I'm looking down, I need to look up, I'm sorry, is actually spending time with self and going through, if you need to list things that you are actually creating and being. Because what happens is most people are living through other people's eyes of judgment, and they're not really celebrating what they create and what they be. And that's kind of sad. I'm gonna say pathetic. Why not treat yourself or acknowledge yourself for what you create and what you be? What would that create? So I'm gonna drop these pork chops in this melted butter. I want to brown them. So this is actually 4 pork chops sliced in half. And this is the cool thing about this. My wife knows I would do this. I can actually use some of this later for making fried rice. Like I have some of that rice left over, and I'll be able to put this together and make fried rice. Okay, now I'm gonna let this. So remember, I'm gonna flip it over after about 3 minutes. Victoria, what's up, sister? How you doing? Love seeing you. Happy birthday, belated happy birthday, my sister. Look, you made it around the sun another year too. How's it get better than that? Were you in Jamaica this time? This is my sister that goes to Jamaica. I think she lives part-time down there too. I've been knowing Victoria, y'all, since I've been in Portland. So it's been over like 30 something years. 2 meals in one. Yes, babe. 2 meals in one. So the whole thing about cooking is, one of the things about cooking, I would say, is enjoying it. Last week I was in Chicago, and I was able to grab, did I bring this cookbook in here? I think I have it here. I don't know if I shared it with you last week. I'll share it now. This is my mom's cookbook. And if you guys can see what that says, I hope it doesn't go backwards. Cooking with the Master's Chef. And a friend of her gave this to her, gave it because my mom was truly a master chef. When I was preparing for tonight, I was like, I'm a chef. I was teasing my wife I was a chef, but I said, well, I'm not a professional chef, but I'm a chef of different sorts. My mom, my grandmother, Miss Mignon, France, my roommate when I was working for Club Med. He was the head chef at Club Med when I was living in Mexico for a while. And I learned a lot of tricks of the trade. And then I came to Portland, and I was working for Hamburger Mary's, an old hamburger establishment here in Portland. And I was the person responsible for making all the sauces, the salad dressings, and it stuck. But it all started with Pamela Marie Ashford. How's it get better than that? And I want to celebrate my dad. If my dad sees this, my brother shows this, happy birthday, John Sr. I'm named after my dad. He'll be 84 tomorrow. And it's been a huge example on what to be as a man for me. I've been very blessed to have him as a dad. And he also cooked. Pork roast was, I mean, not pork roast, what was it? Pot roast was his favorite thing, and cornbread. We always knew when we came home what we were going to have when he cooked. My brother and I did while my mom was at work. Anyway, my pork chops are looking pretty good. But let's go back to this, okay? Have you ever found yourself being uncomfortable because you think you're not enough? But when was the last time you actually started to look at what you have created, what you changed on the planet, who you changed? and how they benefit from that. Turn this over. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we don't take the time to acknowledge the magnificent persons that we are. And I think that in this day and age, you know, people are so judgmental. I wonder what y'all think. You know, some of my people overseas might not know about this. Let me turn this last pork chop over. Uh, I wonder what you all are aware of on, like, how unstable the planet is right now. And what would it take for you to realize that you are a huge contribution to the planet? A huge contribution. You know, 2 days ago, I think it's 2 days ago, I think my days blend together. I did this Soul Shine Sunday event that I've done, and I'm going to be doing that once a month now, where it's a little bit of meditation and sharing tools on how to navigate with a lot more ease on this thing called living on planet Earth. And one of the things that I really celebrate in this class is I look at the oneness from people or for people, and where they have forgotten about the oneness and how to be one with each other. You know, so I want to show you guys what these pork chops. They look delicious right now. Oh my God! But when you guys see, let's see, Chef of Consciousness. Yeah, I try. Well, I don't try. I do the damn thing. Melly Mel, my cousin. What's up? Yeah. So you're gonna see something. Well, you guys. So let me show you guys as I'm gonna go back to this paper in a second. So the main event is this here in this bowl. It's 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, nutmeg, grated nutmeg, and cinnamon. We're gonna drop these apples, sliced apples in the skillet after these cook. I want to say about 135, 140, because I'm gonna put it back in there later. And then we have chicken broth and a little cornstarch in there. Now I didn't add that in the recipe. This is something I added at the last time. What temperature are you cooking those chops at? 145 degrees. And so my wife knows I love cooking, so I have an automated digital thermometer. If it's working today, let's see. No, it's working, and it says it's 73 degrees, 75 degrees. So let's see what this pork chop is. Let's try this one. 120, 130. And they're cooking 145. Okay, yeah. So put this over here. I'm gonna take these off because I have a warm pan and put them in the oven while I prepare the apples. So don't be a doomcough like me before and grab the pan. I might do that still. You guys don't laugh at me though. Okay, so let me show you what these look like. It's hot. That's what those look like cooked. Can you guys, yummy, 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 yummy. Almost done, almost done. Now the same skillet, y'all. Guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna put some more butter in here. And you know something? I don't like how that looks, but anyway. That was a bigger piece. So this is the other piece. The pork loins. The other thing that I might have done to this recipe is actually smoke these joints on the grill, but I didn't take the time to do that today. So if I had more time, I would smoke them, smoke them. Let's see. What type of apples are you using? Oh, there you go. Melly Mel's asking good questions. So let me take this as I move this because I want this to smoke. Okay. So what I'm doing is I had 1 apple from my backyard, which was a Roman apple. I had a Granny Smith, which is really sour, and I have a Fuji apple. Why? And it usually calls for just sour apples, but I wanted to mix apples up. That's 3 apples chopped up. I'm gonna drop. It says 1 more tablespoon, but I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons in this because I have a few more apples, I think. Okay, so I drop my butter in here. Yeah. Put this back on like that. But yes, Melly Mel. So, and each of those apples have a different texture, and the crunchiness. The green ones you can see are Granny Smith's. That's the sour apple that I use. So what I'm gonna do is drop these in here like that. And pretty soon I'm gonna drop my brown sugar first. And I scared my wife when I was cooking. Let me slide this over a little bit so you guys can see more in the center. Okay, because at first when I thought it said a fourth a cup of sugar or half a cup of sugar. My wife's like, "You and your sugar," I know. I love sugar. Sugar loves me. So once again, if you guys out here and you're watching this, could you do a brother some mad ass love and share this with somebody that might, they might be at work, they might be lonely. I think it's kind of funny. Anybody got any jokes they want to come on and tell? I want people to start joining the group. And I know Derek said we can do that because we do this through StreamYard. And I think we could put some people on here. But would you be interested? My sister Andrea, I was just seeing you on Facebook. Love my mama's pork chops. Yes, and applesauce. So right. So applesauce, we're actually having fresh apples. I'm going to let this cook up a little bit, and I'm gonna put the brown sugar and the cinnamon and nutmeg on there, and I'm gonna drop the slurry of chicken broth and corn starch. It's gonna thicken up a little bit. I'm gonna put the pork chops back in, and bam, boom, bang. Never heard of Roma. Those are, I'm sorry, these aren't Roma, that's my Roma tomatoes. These are Liberty apples. Thank you, man. They're Liberty apples. There's probably, like, we go to the store called New Seasons locally, and there's probably about 100+ variations of apples that I was unaware of. There are apples that are pink inside. There are apples that are real small. There are apples that are extremely sugary, like they have these bees apple and the honey. What's it? Honey sickle, honey, honey something. It slips my mind. Yeah, there's so many variations of apples. It's like people, you know, but apples don't fight against each other and call each other. I love what we fresh apples say. Yes, 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 yes. So I'm gonna let you guys see what this looks like in a second. I'll let you see what it looks like just before I put this, because I don't really want these to cook down too much. I want them to be kind of crunchy. But this is what they look like. Fresh apples are sexy. Yes, they are extremely sexy. So that's what it looks like. Okay, put this back on. Now we're gonna drop, and this was like now I do extra because it like called for like a teaspoon of cinnamon and nutmeg. I went a little bit overboard because I like cinnamony stuff, and I think my wife loves it, so we're in good company. Now this is where it gets kind of exciting because you know what happens to sugar and butter? It starts to caramelize. And so let's see, those apples are happy. Yes, they're happy apples. Now they would be more happy if I would drop some alcohol in on them, but I'm not going to do that right now. So I want you guys to see what it looks like so far. I'm about to put the next ingredient in here. Okay. That's what the caramelized apples are beginning to look like. Put this back on top. Now, when you mix chicken, I don't know if I'm gonna use all of this chicken broth. A lot of times the cornstarch will settle, so make sure that if you use, it's called a slurry, I think slurry. You actually stir it, like Bob Marley say, "Stir it up, little darling." I think that's all I'm gonna need, and it should give me a little thickening. Okay. Oh my God, guys, look at this! I'm gonna show you this one more time. There you go. Those are the apples. Can you see it? Can you see it? Okay, so we're gonna go back in and we're gonna go grab our handy dandy notebook. That used to be from a cartoon my son used to watch when he was a kid. So I got my pork chops. Eyes off over there. Bury it in the apples. Let's come off the top. And voila. Now, I have this extra juice from the pork. Pour that back over the top. Oh my God, my mouth is watering. I'm like, oh my God. Let you guys see what this looks like. I'm gonna start plating it a little bit. So voila, pork and apples. And so what happens is I'm gonna save these, you know something? I'll do this. I'm gonna show you guys a hack. So what I'm going to do, put this in here like that. A hack. I'm gonna show you guys how creative I get in cooking. Actually, yeah. Okay. Because my wife doesn't like, that's a hot pot. She doesn't like the onions. I'll drop these cooked onions in this rest of this broth. I'll show you. This is a hack. This is something like, this is last minute of like, you know, watching my mom cook so often in the kitchen, like, okay, you're doing something. What can I do to like accommodate a lot of people? If you have somebody come over, they couldn't eat a certain thing. Well, like my wife can't eat onions right now, so that's what I'll do. I'll drop this like this. I'll do this here. Turn this eye down. Now watch this, y'all. Voila. And keep that warm like that for her. So I'm gonna show you what I just did. I'm gonna stick this back in the oven. It's gonna thicken up from the temperature in here. And guess what? I'm ready. So I'm gonna show you a little bit. I'm gonna plate a little bit of this so you guys see what this looks like. Grab me a plate, small plate. Because I guess you guys have complained in the past, we don't get to see the finished product. You would if you come visit me here in Camas, Washington. But you guys, well, Andrea has been here, I believe, yes. And some of my other family members have been here. So I'm gonna take a few of these string beans. Grab some of this rice. Sorry about that. I need a camera over here, And I'm only gonna take a little bit of this pork because I'm gonna eat with my wife when she comes down. We do that together, we eat. So, oh my God, it looks good. It looks divine. So I drop this on here. Grab a couple of apples. Drop that over the top. And voila. And it's 6:59. I did a little talking, did a little cooking. I just want you guys to see how if you start to take care of yourself, your body will adore you. Let's see. I have used Granny Smith and bone. Yes. Chutney. Yep. Delicious. Let me tell you guys when my mouth is watering. This is my first time cooking this. Wow. Extraordinary. Oh my God. The apples with the rice. I think my wife's probably coming downstairs already. Some green beans. Oh my God. A meal fit for John, a king. Put this in the oven so it stays warm for her. That's it, people. 30 minutes. And I did a hack. I'm I'm late for the party. Sorry, no problem. You're never late. You're never late. You can go and see this. Check this out, people. Please go over and watch on YouTube and ask people to join my channel. It would be a big favor for me. It would be a huge favor. I got a lot of family members. All my family members should be on my page. Being John Ashford at YouTube. Until next week, y'all, I'm putting this in my mouth so I don't have to talk anymore. I'll send some in the mail, Donna. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ridiculous. How's it better than that? That's a wrap. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.